So today is September 13th, 2021. And last night, September 12th, Justin Trudeau, at an event, it was reported by one of the reporters following him around, said the following: "Now is the time for real leadership." And Trudeau said this in the context of pitching himself. So Justin Trudeau said, "Now is the time for real leadership." I actually couldn't agree more. I'm having this moment where I'm actually agreeing with Justin Trudeau. Now is the time for real leadership, but we're not going to get it from him. I want you to share this video with somebody who is considering voting Liberal. For Trudeau to make a pitch that he is the leadership that Canada needs right now, it's just preposterous. We are in this election because of his ego and vanity. Just a few short months ago, Justin Trudeau said nobody wants an election during the pandemic, yet he called one anyways. He called the election as Afghanistan was falling to the Taliban. He called the election as BC was burning in wildfires, and he called this election during the pandemic, okay? So, and then if you want to talk about leadership, now is the time for real leadership, quote Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau his government has been mired in scandal for 6 years. SNC-Lavalin, the We Charity scandal. How many ethics commissioner reports has there been? He's been mired in allegations around mishandling sexual misconduct, both within the military and within his own party. And frankly, he wasn't even able to really answer sexual misconduct allegations or groping allegations within his own caucus, right? So real leadership. A real leader would have addressed that some time ago instead of just leading the women who are affected by this to flounder. Remember before the pandemic when we saw blockades across the country around natural resource projects? Where was the real leadership when that came to pass? Where was the real leadership when we needed to close the borders at the start of the pandemic? And they said, and Justin Trudeau and his Liberals claimed that border measures didn't work. Where was the real leadership when we needed, to have financial scrutiny on Canada's budget, and we didn't have a budget for 2 years? I have sat directly across Justin Trudeau in the House of Commons. And I wish you guys could see it from my perspective sometimes, because it's like when he says these things, it's like, I know it's a lie. Like nobody can actually believe Justin Trudeau has done a good job for Canada. And now is the time for real leadership. He's had 6 years. It's just this arrogance. He actually believes his own, does he actually believe this? I hope you don't. I hope you don't. And if you're considering voting Liberal, the Liberal Party of Canada should have replaced him as a leader a long time ago. He does not have the capacity for leadership. I mean, look at where we are as a country. Look at how much debt we have. Your life hasn't gotten any better. The cost of living has increased. I mean, how much did you just pay for one bag of groceries this week? Nobody in our country can really afford to buy a house. We have a joblessness crisis in many parts of the country. Even when he talks about things like childcare, it's like, you had 6 years. There's no new childcare spots because of the federal government. I mean, people need that help now. Now is the time for real leadership. Can you believe the gall of this guy? And I guess that's the thing. I think he thinks you're dumb. I think, if you're thinking about voting Liberal right now, I think Justin Trudeau honestly just thinks you'll believe anything he says without questioning it. And we should be questioning Justin Trudeau's capacity for leadership, because he's had 6 years. He's had 6 years. And I know some of you who are watching this might have voted for Justin Trudeau in 2015 for change. But he did not deliver that by any metric. By any metric. And so what we're going to have he's asking for another 4 years of him? Our country can't afford that. My community can't afford that. You can't afford that. We can't afford anything in this country anymore. And it's because of his lack of leadership. So he's right. Now is the time for leadership. Now is the time for change. And we are a week away from Election Day, and one of the most significant elections in Canadian history. And I just really want you to think about that he's asking He's asking for like a majority mandate. That's why he called this election. He doesn't want to have to deal with people questioning his lack of leadership or the lack of results that we've seen in this country. So you have the power. So many of you over the years, you know, you'll say like, why don't you have non-confidence votes in the House and these sorts of things? And we have non-confidence votes all the time, but the Trudeau Liberals have been propped up by the NDP. Now you have a chance to hold a confidence vote on Justin Trudeau, and it's next Monday. So I ask all of you, for those of you who are considering voting Liberal, really think about it. Really think about what that means. Really think about putting your trust in Justin Trudeau for another 4 years. We can't afford that. And I encourage all of you to get out and vote because we can't afford him. And I hope you'll consider voting Conservative. I think we have a strong plan. I know we have a strong plan to get Canadians back to work, to keep us healthy and safe, to respect the rights of Canadians, and to move our country forward in a positive direction with real leadership. Real leadership. So yes, Justin Trudeau, you're right. Now is the time for real leadership, but not from you. Share this video. Working hard for you in Calgary. Have a great day.